Hey everybody, this is Brooke Sann here. So today I want to talk about how to get out of a funk, which I feel like is so appropriate this time of year. Right now I'm looking out the window and more snow is coming, and sometimes that in itself can kind of set me off into a funk. Okay, so we're going to jump right in. So today I'm going to kind of break it into an acronym. Like I love um, very analytical, step by step. I love following recipes, step by step ways to get to a result. Okay, so here I've broken it into an acronym because it's kind of fun. How to get out of a funk. So F. F is the first letter in funk, and it means feel it all. Okay, so I want you to think about what it means to be in a funk. It might mean different things to different people, but when I'm in a funk, I don't want to get out of bed. I feel this heaviness. I kind of can't snap out of it. I just kind of just go through the motions of my day. I'm not feeling much joy. I'm just trying to get through it. I want to eat. I want to sleep. I want to just feel pleasure. I'm not challenging myself at all. And I just kind of in a funk, just in a rut. And then it gets worse and worse sometimes when I don't need it. So what I want to tell you first is to feel it all. What I mean by that, we can allow our body to feel it and acknowledge it. Like, yeah, okay, I woke up with this heaviness, this weight inside of me. Like I just feel like I'm in a funk. And I want to kind of just take a little side road to talk about depression for a second. So depression is a very interesting thing. How I want to describe depression to you is it is pure exhaustion. It is exhaustion from trying to not feel for a very, very long time. It reminds me of like that whack-a-mole game, right? Like where things are popping up here and things are popping up there and things are popping up there. And our body and our brain is like, no, stop. Like we're trying to like hit all the whack-a-moles. Like, no, that thought brings up negative emotion. Thinking about that, meeting with that person, seeing that family member, like that all brings up more and more emotion. So like our body is just purely exhausted because it's trying so hard to stay away from all of these emotions. It just is exhausted. It's depleted. It can't keep up with that. We've tried to hold off from feeling for so long that all of our resources, all of our energy in our body is being used trying to not feel. So I'm going to say it again. Depression comes from exhaustion, from trying to not feel. So recently something happened to me that brought up a lot of triggering thoughts. So with triggering thoughts comes emotions. And what I didn't realize was I was trying to not feel it. And that's why I fell into this rut. I fell into this funk because I was trying to push it away. I was trying to keep that emotion far, far away. And I didn't even realize I was doing it. So the F is the first letter because we need to feel it. If you could just describe it, if you could just take a moment to say like, I'm feeling grief, or I'm feeling disappointment or embarrassment, or I'm feeling discouraged, right? Any one of those just negative emotions. Like if we could just start with, because it's a little awkward at first, like trying to describe negative emotion. Like if we could just start by labeling it. What is it that I'm trying to not feel? Okay, we'll start there. And then let's try to just for a quick second, because our brain doesn't want to feel negative emotion. Just for a moment, let's try to feel the grief. Okay, the emotion is just a vibration in our body. So let's just let ourselves feel it for just a moment. Because if we're in a funk because we're trying to not feel it, we need to feel it to get out of the funk. Okay, we can just label it and feel it. And so everyone manifests different emotions different ways. So what does grief feel like to you? What does sadness or disappointment, where does it show up in your body? Is it a heaviness? Is it a lightness? Is it cold? Is it hot? Where? Is it in your head? Is it in your chest? Is it in your, do you get knots in your stomach? Just kind of take a moment to like, where am I feeling that emotion that I'm trying to not feel? Okay. So F, feel it all. U, understand it can drive you. Okay. If you allow the funk to take over, the funk will drive. I promise you this. So I always like to explain this kind of like you're driving a car, and then we kind of take a step back and the emotion starts to get into the driver's seat and takes over. So when my funk takes over, which absolutely I let my funk take over sometimes, it drives me all over the place. It drives me to the freezer to get some ice cream. It drives me to the couch. It drives me to bed at 8 p.m. on a Friday night. It will drive me wherever it wants to. I'll just follow it. I'm just like, yeah, that's where we're going. Yeah. You know, like, but come on. We have an upper brain. We have an opportunity to make that decision for us. If we let it, it will take over. And guess what? We're going to start feeling bad about feeling bad. Okay, so if we let the funk take over and we're eating ice cream, I'm just using these examples. They might be examples from my own life. But if we're eating ice cream every night because we're feeling crappy and going to bed early and not spending time with our kids and not spending time with our husband, and we're staying up late and watching Netflix and sleeping into the last minute and not doing our hair, all that funk takes over. It's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse because we're feeling bad about feeling bad. And it's like a domino effect. And all these things that we've worked hard to put into place are just out the window because we've just kind of given up. So I just want to take a moment for you to acknowledge that it can drive us. If we let the funk take over, if we get into a rut, we could just totally let go and let it do all the things. But that's not what we want to do. So the next one, this is kind of interesting. Just for kicks and giggles, I was Googling how to get out of a funk. And there are so many resources, but you know what I saw? I'm not saying this is bad. You know what I saw is it's so much external things trying to deal with something that's internal. A funk is something that's happening inside of us. So, you know, some of the external examples, you know, like yoga, meditation, you know, taking a walk, exercising, those are all wonderful, wonderful things. But if we're always seeking something externally to make us feel better, it's not going to be getting to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is our thoughts, right? Our thoughts create our feelings. So we're feeling like we're in a funk. Let's say funk is a feeling, for example. A thought is triggering that feeling, okay? So drinking tea isn't going to help me deal with my thoughts and my feelings. These are these external things we can use to create an environment, or we can create kind of that space to deal with the root of the problem, right? Yoga, meditation are amazing tools. They are not what solves the problem, though. What solves the problem is with us getting to the root of the problem, which is our thoughts and our feelings, allowing to feel our feelings and to understanding what thoughts are triggering these emotions. So what I'm saying, N is no to externals. And I say that with a little disclaimer, like these are tools, yoga and meditation and tea and exercise are wonderful things. Like that might just be one little piece of the puzzle, right? Might help us provide an opportunity or a space to deal with the real problem, but it's not the fix it, right? If we do yoga every day or if we drink tea every day, that's not going to fix our funk. Our funk has to be dealt with. Feeling it, understanding it can drive you, and no to the externals. And I also say no to the externals because ice cream's not going to solve your problems. Netflix isn't going to solve your problems. Sleeping all day isn't going to solve your problems. Amazon shopping is not going to solve your problems. What else? Those are my favorites. So the external things can't help us. They can trigger a little dopamine hit, right? Like when we get a bunch of comments on Facebook or Instagram, or that package shows up on our front door of something new to try or a new care product, or what else? Going to a yoga class, things like that. Those are all great things and they feel good because we get that pleasure. Our brain is trying to seek that pleasure, right? But it's not dealing with the root of the problem. Okay, the last thing is K for no, the caveman brain. This is such an important part of funk because I want to explain the caveman brain. So we've got our upper brain, which is our higher thinking, and we've got our lower brain, which is our primal brain or our caveman brain, right? Understanding this brain is so important because our brain, the triad of the caveman brain is trying to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and preserve energy. Okay, so funk is doing all those things. Funk is taking your caveman brain right where it wants to be, into the cave, okay? So it wants us to stay in the cave, stay home, stay in bed, don't go to work, be late. It wants us to seek pleasure, eat the food, watch the next Netflix show, and then it wants us to avoid pain. It doesn't want us to feel. So funk is just us giving into our caveman brain. It's allowing our caveman brain, our primal brain, to do all the things, to stay in the cave, to not feel, to avoid pain, to seek pleasure, and to preserve energy. Hello, laziness, right? That's why we don't do any laundry, or that's why we don't do anything on the to-do list, right? It's the caveman brain taking over. So understanding that is going to help you get out of your funk, okay? We are humans. We get into funks. We are moms. We are working moms. Sometimes we just haven't had a chance to process things. And so we just get into a funk, or something happened at work, or something happened in our relationship, or something happened in our family at Thanksgiving, right? Like we have all these triggering thoughts and they just catch up with us and we're in a funk. And it's okay to be in a funk. It's part of being a human. It's that lower brain, that caveman brain doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. It wants us to stay in the cave. But you're here watching this video because you don't want to stay in the cave. You don't want to be in the rut. You don't want to be living this life that you're living. You want more out of it. So sometimes it's helpful to talk to someone about that, AKA a good life coach. Here I am. So come to me, talk to me about this funk that you're in, and we're going to trigger some emotions and some thoughts, and we're going to find the root of the problem. We're going to figure out why you're in the funk, because it doesn't feel good. I've been in a funk for the last month, and I finally talked to my life coach, who was amazing, by the way, and we dealt with some really big things, and there were lots of tears, and there were lots of emotions. But if we don't deal with that, it's going to just keep on driving us. It's going to keep driving me to the freezer and getting ice cream every night. And guess what? I gained a bunch of weight, and I didn't want to, but that's what happened. Okay, so that's it for today. Sorry, I can't get it out. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys can get out of your funk, because it's not fun. And please like, subscribe, reach out to me. Let's set up an appointment so we can help you deal with getting out of your funk. Okay, I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.